The world's biggest tire graveyard is located in the town of Sulaibiya, Kuwait. The tire graveyard is a stark reminder of our reliance on rubber and the negative impact that it can have on the environment.
Hey everyone! Welcome to the Radiant Clues.
The massive tire dump covers an area of approximately 100 acres and is considered to be one of the world's most significant environmental disasters. The sheer magnitude of this wasteland is staggering, with estimates suggesting that there are more than 50 million discarded tires in this location. Just like one of mankind's greatest achievements, the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, the tire graveyard in Kuwait could also be seen from space. It is a surreal sight to behold, with towering piles of discarded tires as far as the eye can see. The tire graveyard in Kuwait began accumulating in the late 1970s, when tires started to be imported to the country in large quantities to meet the demands of a growing economy. To address the problem, the Kuwaiti government imported millions of tires from around the world to replace the damaged ones. However, the government did not have a plan in place for disposing of the old tires, and they began to pile up in Sulaibiya. Over time, the pile grew and grew until it became the massive tire dump we know today. Over time, the tire graveyard grew, and by the 1990s it had become a serious environmental problem. The tires had begun to catch fire and burn uncontrollably, causing significant damage to the environment and releasing harmful pollutants into the air. The fact that the tire graveyard was located right next to the residential suburb of Al Jarrah didn't help with the residents being fed up with these recurring fire incidents. These fires were so intense that they burned for weeks, and the thick black smoke that resulted could be seen from miles away. Despite firefighters' best efforts, the fire burned for 17 days, forcing 4,000 people to evacuate their homes. This is what that huge fire looked like from space. That's just a small corner of the tire graveyard. So after repeated fires, the government of Kuwait finally announced that multiple facilities would be established in order to relocate the tires and recycle them. The tire graveyard is a massive environmental problem. The tires do not biodegrade, and they contain toxic chemicals that can leach into the ground and groundwater, polluting the surrounding environment. In 2013, the Kuwaiti government signed a contract with a Spanish company to shred and recycle the tires. The company used a state-of-the-art shredding machine to break down the tires into small pieces, which were then transported to a cement factory to be used as fuel. A comparison of the satellite photos shows that by September of 2021, all tires had been moved from their original location to multiple recycling facilities. But what did they exactly do with those 50 million tires? Tires are made up of rubber for traction, carbon black for durability, and metal wires for structure. Using a thermochemical process known as pyrolysis, tires are heated up at 840 degrees Fahrenheit. The rubber element is transformed into a gas, which is then cooled and sold as a liquid biofuel. Once the chamber temperature drops, the carbon black char is extracted into large bags and put away. Finally, the chamber is opened, and what's left behind? A massive spool of metal wires. These wires are water sprayed to minimize spoilage before they are pulled out using a small crane and sent for recycling. This process was successful in reducing the size of the tire graveyard, but it did not solve the problem entirely. The government also considered using the tires for road construction, but the high costs and technical difficulties associated with the process made it impractical. One potential solution to the tire graveyard problem is to repurpose the tires. Old tires can be used for a variety of purposes, including as fuel, as insulation, and even as playground surfaces. Some companies are even using old tires to create new products, such as rubber mulch and tire-derived fuel.
Hey, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.